Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your ITFC full-time fan reaction show following Ipswich Town 1, Cheltenham 1, and we are here joined by Phil Blundell. Phil, what are your thoughts on that game?
Sheer frustration this afternoon. Town, as usual, tried to get the ball into the back of net, tried to walk it in the second half, and it just didn't work. Cheltenham liked to put 3 or 4 players on the goal line, in front of the goalkeeper, who I felt led a charmed life this afternoon. Just couldn't break him down, just couldn't find the way. Just so stubborn. Couldn't get the ball past him.
No.
Although the highlight for me, perhaps this afternoon, was the goalkeeper getting booked for time wasting.
What, in the first half?
In the first
The problem
half.
is referee then blunts himself, doesn't he? Because after that, he didn't book a single player for time wasting, did he?
I think in the second half, you know, there were a few infringements that referees just simply let go, and it just added to the frustration of the Town fans. He wasn't really in the mood for giving much away, and second half was just out of frustration.
Yeah.
Pure frustration.
I can see the frustration on your face.
I don't know who to give man match tonight, but that Cheltenham number 9 this afternoon was a pain in the arse.
He really was,
But
yeah.
I would say you have to give Cheltenham credit. They defended stoutly this afternoon.
They did,
like I
really
said,
stoutly.
3 or 4 players right in front of the goalkeeper.
But what do you put it down to, Phil? Because for me, stat-wise, it's brilliant. Chance-wise, it's brilliant. But ultimately, for me, that's not good enough. I expect to be doing that against Cheltenham. But I equally expect to be beating Cheltenham. And this is not the first time I've seen my club come up short in a game where you can walk away and go, we had 30-odd chances or 100-odd chances or 20-odd chances.
Yeah.
Something's not right at the moment in both boxes.
No, it's not. No. And I hate to say this, but I think at the moment, it seems the team is struggling a little bit with maybe 1 or 2 absentees. I mean, I think not having Dominic Ball in the centre of midfield today didn't help.
Mine not having for the season, if rumours are true. Obviously, they're rumours at this point. We don't know, but...
Well, I don't know what the extent of the injury is at the moment, but if he's out for the rest of the year, okay, fine. We've got bodies in there to cover him, but the rest of the season would be a real blow. I think I'm struggling to give man of match to any of the Town players this afternoon because, again, they just couldn't break down a stubborn lower half League One team, and that's another 2 points drop this afternoon.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What was the key moment in the game for you, Phil, before I bring in Mr. Aidy Croucher for his debut?
I can't name any one moment in the game that was a turning. I don't think there was a turning point in the game. It was just one of those games where Town absolutely put pressure on Cheltenham in the second half. Cheltenham really couldn't get out of their own half in the second half. It was that bad, and we just couldn't find a way through. I personally think that, Ladapo this afternoon, who started the game, was pretty much bullied by those 2 centre halves at Cheltenham, and when Jackson came on late in the second half, he didn't do it. He didn't do anything for me. We lack that penetration. This afternoon was just so frustrating, and I can't really use any other word. Frustration.
Frustration is a good word. Might be the title of the show tonight. Phil, while you hand the baton over to Aidy, guys and girls at home, don't forget, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and support us on YouTube by hitting the join button or going to our Ko-fi. Come and Talking Town Fit stand at $4.99 rather, $4.99. You can support the platform. Aidy, welcome in for the debut.
Hi, mate.
What are your thoughts on that one?
Well, I've got to agree with Phil. It's just a frustration afternoon against a lower league club, against Charlton, that actually made Town look like a real League One team. Because if we play like that, it's just going to be a free fall. But that's sort of how I feel at the minute. You get frustrated. I passed a Charlton fan on the way out, and he was laughing. He's saying 175 of us, and I actually think the team actually like us are rubbish. But they embarrassed us, to be honest with you, Martin. They really did.
We've got a comment here from Chris Boyd. Aidy, it says we should have had the game won within half an hour, and we're now picking up injuries all over the pitch, making it really tough for ourselves.
Yeah, it's a classic example. Yes, we scored a goal, and at last we fed a ball through actually the 6 yards area, and we actually had a player on the end of it, of Wolfie, but that just about
Why can't this club score goals at Plymouth Road?
I really do not know. I really do not know. But that just actually sums it up towards the end when we have to put Burgess on as a centre forward. So that actually just proves what we need to go into the transfer market.
Will it be a striker? Is that what you're targeting?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You know, we've got the cover in the other parts of the field, but you know, the striker has got to be our number one priority after Christmas.
Perfect. 80, what a debut. Solid. I wish it was that good on the football pitch. But,
Absolutely.
Benny Moore, we'll bring Ben Moore in. Ben,
No,
young
Ben.
Pep Guardiola. What are your thoughts on that one, Ben?
Crap. Utter crap.
What about it? You know, what about, because some will walk away thinking lots of shots, lots of chances, hit the woodwork several
it's 1-0.
times.
It's 1-0. Like, if we scored 7 goals with 30 shots, I'll be happy. But it's 1-0.
I'm not saying Cheltenham are happy, but they're letting off fireworks over there, which obviously is a joke, by the way, for those that didn't know. There are fireworks, but still. I mean, why are fireworks not on bonfire night, Ben? Just a side question.
I really don't know.
Shocking decision. I mean, remember the 5th of November, isn't it? Not every
fucking-
single day since Talk New Year.
Yeah.
But-
Bit weird, but
We didn't get fireworks on the pitch, did we?
no, we didn't.
What?
And-
What do you put it down to, Ben?
It's the same as Lincoln, same as Cambridge. They sat 10 men behind the ball, and we cannot and will not break them down. We need to change it in January.
AD be buying a striker, would you?
Still undecided. I think
Where else would you be targeting them?
number 10. I don't think Harness is a number 10. I don't think he plays like that. He's either
Hit the post, though. No,
He
bar.
did.
Hit the bar,
hit the
even.
bar.
He's got to score it.
Josh behind the camera says, got to score it. Should he have scored it?
He should have scored it. But then the Dapo should have scored about 7 of his chances.
Yeah.
So it's one of them. I think if we buy a striker in January, it's got to be a marquee signing. It can't be someone that comes in and sits on the bench over Ladapo. It's got to be somebody to come in, hit the ground
Is
running.
Ladap at that point now where you're thinking he's replaceable or unreplaceable or what? Because, you know, up until today, he's been on a good scoring form, to be fair to the lad.
Yeah, I think it's hard for him when you've had teams to sit them behind the ball. That when you've got teams that come in and sit 10 men behind the ball, it's hard for Ladapo.
Yep.
But then he's got to improve his movement. He's so flat-footed, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, so come on, carry on.
He's so flat-footed that it makes it so easy for their defenders just to sit there and mark him.
Okay, all right. I've got 2 waiting behind you. Ben, who wants the microphone first? Coxie.
I'll come on, but I'll keep the lead on the old go here.
All right. I've got a comment here from Hawks. I want to read it out to both of you. It's a great comment. I think it's accurate comment. Let me just find it. It was about shots at Portman Road and not scoring enough. 62 shots.
Yeah, that's what
And 1
Cox
goal.
was just saying. Yeah.
Talk to us.
Let's talk about the tap over then, because you've got a split opinion with Crunch on this. How do you think he played today?
Well, don't bring him in. Right? He's not here to. No, he's not here to defend himself. Is he?
No. Come over now.
No, if you wanted me to talk about Ladapo, I personally think, you know, I've watched every game of season bar 1, and is what I would class as an okay first division striker. Now I'll probably get annihilated by a few people for that, but I think he's okay. Like I just said to Rich and Cox, who was in earshot, I think he's okay. Would I say he's much better than that at the minute? Not really. I mean, with that amount of chances, like we've just been talking about, like Martin just said, I mean, goodness gracious me. I mean, he should be notching quite a few more. I mean, I thought today, he looked a little bit, not lightweight, but I thought he was easily pushed off a wall today. Wouldn't you agree, Coxie?
Yeah, it's just what the chat there was said. He said,
Yeah,
I think he was bullied a bit. He did hold the ball that well for me sometimes, but holding the ball that well does not score you a goal, does it?
No, I mean,
That's not being too harsh.
I mean, the thing is, I mean, I don't want to diss any player because, you know, that's not what we should
You're not
be doing.
dissing, you're critiquing. You've just walked off after a 1-1 at home to Cheltenham, a game in which you did take the lead again.
That's a good word, critiquing.
Critique. What I would say is, you know, I mean, I don't know his exact like stats and that, but you know, the lad is like 6'2", approximately, I should say, and probably about 12.5 stone, whatever. You know, should he be being bullied as much as that? I would.
Is it desire, Colin? It's desire, isn't it? Desire. I want it more. I want it more than you.
People. Oh, I was nearly going to say people like you, Mark, but no, that's not fair. People generally say to me, stop going back in the past. But I'm going to again.
Go for it.
Because PM, right, as great a centre forward as he was at this football club, right, and I can hear Richard in the back of me in my ears now saying, you can't be talking about him. But I can in one respect. He's about this, probably arguably about the same height, probably a bit broader, PM, right? It'd have been about 6'1" and probably about 13.5, right? But I never ever see that bloke once at this ground get bullied because he had, you know, he'd have his back to goal and he'd fight players off, you know, and he had that, like Martin quite rightly said, about that little bit about him where, you know, he wouldn't be bullied. You know, he wouldn't be bullied. And I think sometimes, Freddie needs to learn that. I think he needs to maybe work a little bit more, maybe in the gym or something. I don't know. But, you know, to gain that little bit more added strength. Because I'll tell you what, those centre-halves today, as boring and horrible a football as it was, I'll tell you, they defended well today. I'll give them that. It was crap to watch. I'll tell you what, they defended very, very well today, and you've got to give them credit.
Got a comment from Nathan Peterson here. I'll read out to you both. I might be slated for saying it. It wasn't a bad performance. It's still promotion-worthy performance, and so dominant, but mid-table finishing and share the spoils. Lovely balls in from Edwards.
Well, I would say to that promotion through playoffs, not promotion top two performance. That's not a top two performance. We're looking like a playoff side for me, and perhaps I'll get crucified for that. At the moment, last 2 or 3 what do you reckon? We're looking like a playoff team, not looking top two.
Well, I mean, you know, I don't really particularly, Peter, I don't really particularly want to go down that track. You know, I'm going to stick with the first and second. In the answer,
yeah, that's what we need.
In the answer to your question, Peter, because I'm not unman enough not to answer the question. If you ask me the question straightforward, is that first or second worthy performance, I'd have to say no.
No, definitely no.
I'd have to say no. So we've got to wrap our game. I mean, I'll be here at 4:45 next week. I'll be here at 4:45.
In the morning, this is.
4:45 in the morning to go to Exeter. And they'll probably suit us down there. They're a footballing side. They'll come at us. They'll allow us space. And it'll probably help us. I'm not so sure games here at our famous Portman Road, I'm not so sure games here are helping us because teams are watching this all the time. They're gaining more every week in how to play against us. I'm not sure, Martin, I'm not so sure this is helping us playing here at a minute. I'm not sure at all.
We've got to play here.
Not even in front of 25,000.
No.
I don't think it's helping us, Martin.
No.
I don't, honestly.
What's not helping us, I would argue, I would say, and I welcome both of your comments and the people watching as well. It's the lack of second option, no plan. Like I'm hoarse for shouting quicker. I want the ball moved quicker. When Jackson come on, he's not the greatest of football players. People will go, oh, it's Jackson.
But he's quick.
But he moves it quickly.
Do you know what?
Because he's a quick player.
I'm just going to come in and actually say something about that because I'll tell you what, I wish there was a video camera on me most of the game today, because I'll tell you what, the people who are around me probably got fed up with hearing me saying quicker, and I'm not saying because you said
same as me.
I'm telling you, quicker. Move the ball quicker. Get it out wide quicker.
Touch, out your feet, pass and move.
I totally, absolutely agree.
The one time we did that down the right with Jackson and a midfield player, got to the byline, got the ball in the box, and we had a great opportunity.
I'll tell you one thing I will say, and this is a big shout. I'll tell you what, there's no way in the world, in my opinion, Kyle Edwards doesn't start at Exeter. I'll tell you what, Marcus, as good a player as Marcus Harness, good a player as he is, and I'm not scared to say this, I'll tell you over the last 4 or 5, said it to Rich the other day, last 4 or 5 games, he's not been on it. I'm surprised.
I agree. He's wilted, isn't he, a bit?
Yeah, I'm absolutely surprised he started today. Kyle Evans has got to start at Exeter for me.
Especially after supposed to have been sick last week.
100%. Yeah.
Edwards, I know it's hindsight, yeah. Edwards should have started.
I'll tell you something else and all. I'll tell you what, I hate to make it like as an excuse, because it isn't an excuse. We've not had injuries here this season. We've not had injuries here this season.
We're starting to get them now.
Horrendous injuries. And I'll tell you what, I reckon that's probably another bad one to JD, because I could not have seen him going off after 20 minutes.
Not that early in the game, no.
No, if that's not a bad injury.
Injuries are biting at the minute, so that's another worry.
What I would say also, as we bring in Rich, is Jackson gets a lot of criticism for being offside. A couple of those times today was because midfield players were not releasing the ball quick enough. And I'm looking at Sam Morsey in that. There was 2 players that made a run at the exact same time, the exact same position, and he didn't put the ball through quick enough. And then the flag went up. The forward players can only make one run, and then they're offside.
Well, there was one time.
You've got to release the ball.
I played it at a half-decent level. I'll tell you, there's one time, even Leaf was out offside. Leaf should never, ever be offside.
Because they're making that move.
Never. Ever.
But that's because they're, and Rich will bring you in.
Offside, never.
We'll bring you in, Rich, because they're making that move. And once you've made that move, if that ball's not released, you're offside.
Yeah, but I agree with Colin there. If you're a left back, you're looking right along the line. You've got a great view of the play.
But if you already made your move, you're offside. You've got the ball released from our midfield areas, Morsey, Chaplin, Harness. It's not quick enough at key moments of the game.
I think, look, that we should win that game in the first 20, 25 minutes, Martin, really. You know,
you're going that way, are you, mate? You're not going that way,
are you, mate? We made it easy. We should, like I said last night, you scored that early goal, didn't I?
Yeah.
Out the starting stalls quick, Colin. We score a goal within, 10 minutes?
Yeah.
The game then, you should make it easy. But, some shouting. But, listen, we're giving away another. Don't you think, though, we're always likely to concede a goal somewhere along the line? You know, when you're sitting.
We shouldn't be to them, though, Rich.
No, I know, but you have again. Again.
Yeah.
And then literally 2 minutes later, they could have gone 2-1 up. But look, second half, it shows to me we play one way, and I'm not going to diss how we play because we all like it. We play good football, but when you bring on Cameron Burgess as a centre forward, right? What do you do? Why have you brought him on? There you go, Ben. So why do you continue to tip, tap, and pass it? He hardly touched the ball, did he, Martin? Let's be fair to him.
Well, he's not going to it 9 foot tall, is he? Because the ball's not in the air.
Yeah, well, exactly. Why have you brought him on then? Why have you brought him on?
I'll tell you one thing we didn't learn this afternoon. We didn't learn from the fact of continually playing high balls into the far pole. Because I'll tell you what, to be fair to those couple of central, I don't know who they were, to be fair, but to be honest with you, their head and their defending at the back there from high balls in was very, very good, to be perfectly honest with you. But we didn't like we say, you know, we didn't learn. We didn't learn on the pitch as such today. We haven't learned since the Lincoln game. We haven't learned from a couple of free games this season, what have been very, very similar. So, you know, I think we, like my son said not so long ago, we've got to start learning quickly.
Which one?
Ian. He did say that a few weeks ago.
In what respect? What have they got to learn?
Well, Ian was saying about, well, you know, kind of learning, you know, as regards like game management and all that kind of thing within the game. You know, we've got to be able to deal with the game in play as such. You know.
Yeah, but you can't legislate for your goalkeeper being beat at his near post.
Yeah, look,
I get
you look at that game, Colin. We always say it's a game of small margins. You know, Harness's great move that is. Couple of inches lower goes in, it's 2-0, and it is a
occasion?
It is a 2-0, and it's a totally different game, but it isn't. So you have to do your job, and we cannot. I said to you before we come on, you can't keep tossing points away. 2 at Charlton, you know, another 2 today. We had 5 points on Sheffield Wednesday 2 games ago. That's down to 1 point.
2 at Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, there's points during the season where you're probably going to think, I know that is football, and they'll probably have games like that where they probably look and they probably think, oh, we should have won there, we drew here, we should have won. And that is football, but you have to be. We've had 62 attempts over 2 games against Cheltenham and Lincoln, and we scored 1 goal, right? But if you look at them 62 attempts, Martin, how many times have we worked the goalkeeper?
Not enough.
No, we don't.
Not enough.
We've hardly worked that keeper. He done a good save, I think, second half there at the far post when he went down injured. Look, you could say on another day, we've been a bit unlucky. Kamara's shot, it's the post to keep us stationary. That should have gone in. Should have had a penalty, Martin, there. There was a handball.
But equally, what I would say is if your tactic is wing play, get the ball out wide, get the ball in the box. We don't gamble enough players in the box.
Exactly. You look at the ball that Edwards put in there right at the end.
Yeah.
Great ball into the 6-yard box.
How many?
You got one player attacking one.
Busting the gut to get in there to score a goal.
Jackson puts a couple in. One player. Burns does. If it's wing play you're going for, I'm all right with that. But then you need your midfield players to gamble into the box.
But you're playing 2 midfielders there, like Humphreys, he's decent today, and Morsey. But do they get beyond the striker? Do they get in your 6-yard box like a Matt Holland?
No, they never do.
A David Norris, a Tommy Miller, Colin. They don't.
No.
That's not the way we play. But if that's the way you're playing, you have to fill the box more. You have to. Because the law of averages says, Martin, if you're creating or having 62 attempts on goal, you should be scoring more goals, Colin. You have to be scoring more goals, and we have to be more ruthless. I see Richard Chandler at the end. I tell you what, he might as well buy me them shirts now, because there is no way we're having 7 players scoring 10 goals, Martin. Not a chance. We ain't ruthless enough, Colin. If we're not ruthless enough, we are still going to be fucking standing here next year with shit teams like Cheltenham,
175 fans
coming down here again, and we'll be talking about the same thing again and again and again.
Yeah.
Well, Sunderland, it took them how many years to get out of this league? 4, 5? You know, the penny finally dropped for them. The penny needs to drop fucking really quickly for Town, because otherwise we're going to be back in that pack and we're going to be in the fucking lottery.
We're in the pack, mate.
Well, yeah, we're still second by a point.
But it's a point.
The lottery of the playoffs is something. Mike has said it long ago. At the start of the season, I probably would have said, yeah, playoffs, I'd take that. Now I wouldn't. You get in there, it's fucking each man for themselves, isn't it? You know, every man for
If
himself.
Mark Ashton wants to get me a Christmas present, he can get me a striker for me.
Who'd you get, though?
It was a perfect game to show him.
I'd bust the bank. I keep saying it. I'd bust the bank. I'd bust the bank.
Well, you've got 2 of the owners there today, so it's one of the ideal games to you know.
Oh, you know what?
Go on,
Johnson, he's buying Johnson, Clark
You
Harris.
ain't getting him. You ain't getting him.
Yeah.
Peterborough, no.
We're League One, Colin. We're not going to attract it. There's no
You
way.
can test the water. What?
There's no way D-Mac's going to let.
Sadly, not now. Posh are back on form.
You said
Had they gone today?
They won today, didn't they?
I don't know. But they're in the playoff mix.
But they're back
They're
in
in
the
the
mix,
playoff mix, and they've got an owner there who's got his head screwed and knows what he's doing. And he's going to take that chance where I think Clark Harris might be out. Hang on, let me finish. I think he's out of contract end of the season. But there is no way, if I'm Darren McAntony, that I'm going to give it, even if they offer 5 million, I'm keeping him, because if you get out of this league, you get that 5 million plus that other 3 or 4 million, is it?
9 million, wasn't it, the ADT?
So why would you take that chance, and why would you sell him? You wouldn't do.
Posh got beat 3-2 today.
Oh, Tim Pot.
Last question before we close up the show.
We got one more point than them fuckers.
A couple of
Wait, and anyway, I didn't answer his question.
a couple of comments in the chat.
Hang on, wait a
What was
minute.
his question?
No, Cox is going on, about Clark. I'll tell you, I said this to a person in the Elf Ramsey today. If we're having a chat at half time, I was talking about Clark Harris. If I'm bloody Clark Harris, right, and this is the Peterborough fans, by the way, right, and everything I tell you will be fact, right? Clark Harris, right, what's he doing at a minute? Playing at London Road, right, for a club who are below us, right? He's also playing for a club that average gates are between 7 and 10,000, right? Here, he could come down here, he could put the royal blue on, right? He could play for a proper football club, right? Wait a minute, Rich, please. He could play for a proper football club. He could play in front of 25 to 28,000, so like 18,000 more every week.
Can I just come in just there? Can I come in on that bit? It don't matter how many fans you have. It showed today, Colin. Cheltenham bought 175. Lincoln bought, what, 600-700? It don't matter if you have fucking 25, 30,000 in the ground. We ain't we ain't beating these teams. It don't matter. Fans don't bring you points.
Rich.
Well, it's funny because you say that.
Rich.
You say that.
No,
Hang on. You say that. 25,000 were Town fans today. Cheltenham had under 200 fans. They've both walked out of a point each. So fans do not bring.
It's
the
great we've got
success.
fans here. Look,
Absolutely.
it's great that we've got fans here.
Absolutely.
No, I'm not saying that.
It's like the gang having a go at the little boy in the playground,
Oh, you're-
right?
You're hardly
Right.
little, Goal.
No, but I'm going to answer that now, right? If Clark Harris comes here, right, he definitely plays Championship football next year. If he stays at Peterborough, question mark.
But he's got a contract to Peterborough.
Oh, that's fair enough.
Yeah, he could go knocking on the.
But that's who I want
He could knocking on his door.
in this league.
Yeah, but then if you get promoted, what are you doing then? Because he's what, 28, 29. Would he do it in the Championship for
I'd
you?
have him on the bench and then buy a decent striker.
Oh fuck! He ain't coming then. If he's listening to this, he's thinking, "Yeah, I might
I'd
go."
have him on the
Oh,
bench.
maybe I won't go there.
I'd have him on
Look,
the
I
bench.
said we should have gone in the
Buy
summer.
that fucker from
We
Bristol.
should have gone, like Martin says before, we bought your Waitrose fullback. You know, you pay $1.5 million. At the top end of the pitch, where it really matters, right, is where you should be spending your money, Colin. And I agree with you on that.
agree with that.
And I haven't got all the answers because I've not got the dashboard, you know. But that's up to the owner and that's up to the recruitment staff to find that player who gets the goals to get us out of this league. Because at the end of the day, that's going to be what gets us out of this league. Games like
Did we
this.
hang on for the guy from Leicester for too long.
Possibly George Hurst.
George Hurst, sorry.
But then they should have had a plan B, C.
Had me was their plan B.
He wasn't. He'll be nearly be fit. Look, he's going to get his chance soon, and we're going to see if he's good enough to make the cut here, Martin. He is, you know, because you're going to need him because you've got John Jules is out till I think January, isn't he?
Yeah,
Hamstring, so he's out. So look, we've got to keep our fingers crossed
Well,
that we
you know.
don't pick up many more injuries
I don't
because
think it had me was plan B, Governor. I think it was just a gamble.
Well,
He played
yeah.
well against us.
Anyway,
And
at least we
just
got
for
the
future.
at least we got the new Liam Gibbs in midfield. Cameron Humphreys.
Well, when he plays in the Championship, we can probably say that, to be fair.
He could play in the Championship, Martin.
he's playing in League One.
No, I'm saying he could play in the Championship.
Well, he's
yeah.
playing in League One at the minute, and Liam
Yeah,
Gibbs is playing in the Championship for Norwich. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I'm saying to you, he could play in the Championship.
Well, let's
Cameron
wait and
Right.
see when we get there, because we want to get there when he wants to play for us in that league.
Let's make sure we're in the Championship next year. Because I'll
Fuck,
tell you what, if we're not, there'll be people coming for Humphreys.
And I'll tell you what,
Trust me.
and I'll tell you another thing. If
Nobody will ever thought that a Championship club had coming in for Gibbs like
and
he
I'll
did.
tell you what,
And he went straight in the side.
and I'll tell you another thing. If we don't get out of the league,
And there was people who said to me,
you can let me finish. You can let me finish.
And there was people who said to me that Gibbs wouldn't play in the Championship.
Anyway,
I don't never mention
another thing
names.
I will say: if we are in this league this time next season, Kieran McKenna will not be in the dugout at Town.
Or that's a whole can
He
of
will
worms. We'll
not
pick
be
that
in
up.
He will not be in the dugout.
Okay, good.
Because he's a very, very good manager.
He is.
But he wants to manage at the highest level possible.
Yeah.
And the
I
sooner
would
and
not
later,
comment on that.
the sooner we get out of this fucking shit league, the better.
Absolutely.
Because it's doing my head in watching fucking shit teams like Cheltenham come down here and go over
Get a point. I
And we
know.
should be good enough. If
Well,
we're as good as everybody says we are, and the squad that we've got is as good as everyone says we've got, we should be fucking beating these teams,
Well,
Colin.
I'll tell you
We
what,
should be beating
Spot
these
on.
teams.
And we'll
I'm
pick
sorry.
this up
Well,
tomorrow.
I tell you what, Rich, that's not doing my head in. It's fucking like somebody hitting my head with a fucking sledgehammer, mate. I've fucking had enough of it. I've had enough of it, mate. It's absolute crap.
Who sung that
Fucking
song?
league is
Who
crap.
sung Sledgehammer?
Crap.
No fucking idea.
Peter Gabriel, Sledgehammer. On that note, we will see you tomorrow live at 1:30 Talking Town. Myself, the Gov,